there were times where I felt that I wasn't necessarily supported by my teachers, but then there were many times throughout my OPS years that I was supported by my teachers. And so I want to hear about a time from all four of you, three being from OPS and one being from a surrounding area of OPS. Please tell us about times where you really felt that your teachers and fellow staff in the building had your back at any school on any level.
A time for me was in physics class. We had this awesome teacher named Ms. Berzina, and he just doesn't care just about teaching us and making sure that we get the right grades we need. He does a really solid job of looking to building each individual. If they don't have their homework, he sometimes has them pull out their phone and flip it around and says, okay, say sorry to yourself. He wants people to build their own character, and that's been a really awesome mentoring teacher for me. Yeah.
So one of the most important things that my teacher have impact on my life is when I first year came to American and I was in ESL class, and the teacher in ESL class we supposed to read a lot in the class, and English is my second language, so I didn't know how to read. I didn't learn any English when I was in the class, so it's hard for me to read by myself. So it's even harder to read in front of people. So when I read, other students were laughing because of my English SS, and then they don't understand. But my teacher, therefore, encouraged me that to focus on my strength instead of my weakness. So my teacher is always there for me and encouraged me. That's what keep me going today.
Like during my seniors in South High, like in juniors I take honor English, and then I was scared like taking AP and during the senior years. I kind of don't trust myself. I was like, it's college level, it's like it's gonna be hard. But then, because a lot of my friends, like fellows, they're in AP, but me, I just drop into regulars. Then I talked to Ms. Palmazzano, my teachers. She was very helpful because I believe she's believed in me. Like she believed I can do it. So I felt like she was the most supportive for me.
During my junior year of high school, I mean, surprisingly, we're not all good at math, so I wasn't very good at pre-calculus, and I had a teacher who really sat and explained it to me. Like she really took the time to help me through my situation. I wasn't very good at pre-calculus. It was pretty hard actually, but now I'm a whiz. So thank you, Ms. Carpenter.
Unfortunately, there are some times where you don't feel as though the staff or the educators have your back like maybe you would like them to, or maybe they should, with quotes around that. So could you all speak about a time where you felt that a certain teacher or staff member could have done something differently to assist you or help you?
Well, this one, it impacted me, but it didn't necessarily happen to me. It was to my little brother. His second grade teacher didn't know how to pronounce his name, so she shortened it, and she called him Abdi, which in our language means slave. So that's kind of disrespectful. My mother didn't understand why she was shortening his name, so she kind of got irritated and really mad, and I was helping her through the situation, and well, she literally got everyone in the class to call him Abdi, and he didn't know it either. So it was more of a, like, they were just ignorant to the situation. So if just because you can't pronounce someone's name doesn't mean you have the right to shorten it. It's a God-given name.
I think during my senior years, like I taken a pre-calculus. Like when I was little, I used to love math, thinking math was my favorite subject. But when I get to seniors, math will get harder. And then, well, people make fun of me, like say you're Asian, you're supposed to have good at math, you know. But then, like I feel like it was so like challenging. Like I can't really, get a good grades in there, because every time I take tests, I never has A's. I was hoping to get A's one time, but I never did. And that's when I feel like the most like helpless in my years.
So for me, encouragement is the most important one. So during my senior year, I want to take CNE class in the tech video, but it costs like 3 periods, so we have to miss 3 periods of our class to take the CNE class. And at that time, I didn't speak English that well, so I go to my counselor to talk maybe if she or he can encourage me to keep going. But instead they say if you don't speak the language, maybe you might have to drop the class. So I didn't get to take the CNE class, so I have to take other classes. I wish like my counselor encouraged me to push me to maybe to find me a tutor so I can able to take this class. Instead they say maybe you're gonna drop this class, the CNE class.
Growing up, I've had a lot of teachers. It really hasn't been one. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, so it's known as a Mormon. And there's a lot of misconceptions that go out. Do you have lots of wives, or can you watch TV or whatever? And so I feel like one of my teachers in particular just really stirred the pot on lots of misconceptions. Didn't really clarify things. So I had lots of kids come up and like, Andrew, how many wives do you have? How many wives are you going after, or whatever, or stuff like that. And so I wish that they would have clarified some things. Maybe even asked me what I believe in. I think that's really important. It's just asking others, them personally, what you believe in, what are you going after. So, yeah.
Before I give it completely to the audience to ask you all questions, do you have anything that you'd like to share additionally?
I want to say that every day you're gonna make a difference in student life, even you don't know it. Like my middle school teacher did something to me that I carry on till college. So even you don't see you make a difference now, but later on you're gonna make a difference.
All right, so I'm going to be walking around. If you all have any questions for the 4 panelists at all, any questions, comments, thoughts, encouragements, please raise your hand and I'll bring the mic to you.
Morning. This is for anybody on the panel to answer. Now, as college students, how do you think you can go back to your high schools and make a difference? And those students who feel like they don't have a place in school, or they can't make it, or they don't have the encouragement from their teachers, just whatever their self-esteem is. Because I know I teach at Burke High School, go Bulldogs, and I see students every day who come to school and know they're going to fail. And no matter how much I encourage them, they just seem to not take the bait and run with it and really try to make a difference in their own lives. So how do you think you can make a difference going back to high school, or maybe suggest what we as teachers can do?
I think one of the biggest things you can do is just make sure that they know that they can make a difference in others' lives. So reach out and maybe provide them opportunities to help serve others. And then as they do that, I think they can really notice the potential within themselves to help change others' lives, not just their own.
To be honest, sometimes I don't like school either. But sometimes when I'm lazy to study, I'm thinking on my parents, I'm thinking on the people back in the refugee camp, that I'm here having opportunity to go to school every day while they're ready for their life. So just make me things I want to try harder. So if your student doesn't don't want to go to school, make them appreciate their life more. And sometimes I watch motivation video on YouTube, and this helped me a lot too. Sometimes it just takes a little things to motivate yourself. And for a teacher, for me, when my first year in America, I didn't want to go to school because of the bullying. And at that time, then the only friend I have is a teacher. So my teacher encourage them, be there for them, and that would make a lot of difference in the student life.
I would say some of my students, they probably don't want to do well in school because they don't think they have a future. They don't want to go to college, get a careers, make a difference. But I can go back and talking to the students, if they don't really like to study, tell them it's really important to go to school, do it good and get good grades and be succeed. And somehow they probably needed like help with like scholarships and stuff, and I would tell them about like there's like a lot of scholarships that can help you guys go to college. Because in my high school, there's like the Latinos is like the dominant populations. So some of them doesn't want to go to college because they don't think they have futures. But then I can go testify them that it's good to go to college, and that you can make a difference in life.
Well, every student's different, so it all really depends on the student and the student that you're trying to affect. You just have to strike a chord in his heart, like whether it be through his hobbies. I mean, everyone has something they like to do, so make it more prevalent to him. Make it special. Make him feel like he's different. You know what I mean? You can't teach every student the same way. It's not. No one learns like that.
How did you feel going to school when it came to learning about culture?
Yeah, I feel like almost like a blind eye was turned towards culture. Like nobody really wanted to teach about it or felt uncomfortable teaching about it. Especially, for myself, I feel like, they didn't really, not that necessarily wanted to have a culture, but I mean, just to address people's values, I feel like they really just sort of shunned away and tried to avoid it just to sort of not touch the subject, which I feel is not right. I feel like, you can't really ignore that in your life and pretend that's not important. So that's how it was for me.
So for me, I also take Spanish class and I also take U.S. government to graduate here. So I like learning other culture because it's good to have different background in school, and it's good to know other people's language, and I like that. When I'm in Spanish class, I wish they teach Korean in the school because there is a lot of Korean children that doesn't speak Korean anymore. They don't even know how to write or speak. So I hope one day we will have a Korean language class in there. And if they teach Spanish class and other language, I feel like I'm alone. I feel like my culture is not there. For Korean ethnicity group, when people ask me what language do you speak, I say Korean, but they heard it's Korean. But I feel like Korean people is not exist, and I feel left out. So I hope one day they will be able to teach Korean class and other people can learn our language and culture too.
We all experience a culture shock when we move from one place to another. So I experienced culture shock, and in sleeps or communicate with others. It feels like coming to school. I see people differently. I feel like I'm left out. I'm not. Yeah, it's no one's the same as me. But later on, when I go to school and learn more about American history and experience others' cultures, and I see people I don't see people differently. I see people the same. We just share a different culture, but in my eyes, I see them there's no colors. I just see them people.
Personally, my culture and my heritage was only brought up when the Somalian pirates, that little tidbit, and we got a glimpse into what Somalia is through the textbook, which, I mean, the textbook can't tell you what's actually happening. You know what I mean? It's history. It's what's already passed. So my teacher explained Somalia as a poor third world country, which was really heavy on famine. A lot of people were really struggling to live, which, I mean, most countries, there's a lot of countries that are like that, but you gotta explain the beauty. You gotta explain the other parts to a culture. You can't only sit there and speak about what's bad, what's not good. And personally, I got a free pass going through Burke High School. No one really knew that I was from a different country, unless they knew me personally, because I don't have an accent. And I've been here since I was 3 years old. But that doesn't mean I was ignorant upon my own culture. Like I know what's going on. I speak with my mother every single night. I speak with my dad every single night. And I know what's going on in my country. I know what's going on with my grandparents. I know what's going on with everybody that's in my immediate family. So when they explain Somalia as being a very poor and famine-induced country, that really kind of hit me low. But I'm not one to speak up and make a fuss in front of the whole class. You're not supposed to upright a teacher.
And so thank you all for your comments. Teachers, educators, thank you all for your participation in this. And let's go ahead and step forward in our program today.
And not only these wonderful young people, give Mr. Kevin Lytle Jr. a big hand. And a standing ovation is in order.